Hello. Um, Before I start, I just want to say that I'm not going to do live reactions to NXT UK anymore. I'm just going to watch, and then during one of the adverts for 205 Live or WWE NXT, I'll just tell you what I thought of it. But today I'll just say that I only saw one of the two back-to-back episodes because I was feeling very tired, but I did really enjoy the episode. I especially liked Isla Dawn and Rhea Ripley's match, even though I knew Rhea was going to retain because she just won the belt, but I still really liked it. I'm just doing this because I live with my family, and so it's on at 3 and 4 in the afternoon, and there's probably going to be noise outside my door and stuff more than if I were to do it now, like in late afternoon where everyone's here in the living room or their rooms. So that's why I'm doing that. Also, I'm not gonna read off like I did like on the computer for the NXT UK reviews last time, but what I'm just gonna do is like I have them on my phone on Google Docs and all the notes of every single thing that happened, and I'm just gonna look down at them occasionally in case I forget something. But even though I was watching with my dad, I basically remember everything that happened and like all the important things that happened. So yeah, that's all I really want to say. And so let's get into this review. First, even though I really did enjoy Monday Night Raw this week more than I have in the last few weeks, like in whole, I would say that when it comes to like making changes or baby steps closer to making changes to making the show better, SmackDown Live really did a better job of that. And so while it's going to take a lot of time for the shows to actually get better, I feel like at least last night it did a better job of like showing the little steps saying that it's going to do that. And so I really enjoyed SmackDown Live last night. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. Okay, into the review. It started Shane like it everyone on SmackDown, the entire roster was like in like a circle like oval thing and like just standing there like in a huge U thing like as a whole group, whole unit, and there's a little platform and Shane was on it. He gets everyone's attention and he tells them that he, Vince, Triple H, and Stephanie had gone to Raw the night before, and this makes everyone just start booing, except for some who were just like kind of smiling a little bit, and Biggie, who was just eating meat and staring at Daniel Bryan, which was kind of funny to me. But um, anyway, he said that they are in charge now. That he, Vince, Triple H, and Stephanie are in charge now, and like while they want to make Raw better, they also want to make SmackDown Live better. Only when it comes to making SmackDown Live better, they're not just making it better for the superstars and for everyone else, they're making it better for WWE Universe. And he goes that it doesn't just rely on us, like the superstars have to do their part too. And he's like asking them if they want to do this, like if they think they can, and everyone's like starts cheering, gets very excited, and so he's like, that's good, but now we have to say goodbye to Paige as GM because with the McMahons in control, they don't need a GM. So he has Paige come up to the little platform, and Paige thanks everyone like for her time as being GM and says that she really enjoyed it and that she'll miss it. Shane says that like this isn't the last we've seen of Paige. She's not done with WWE. She's got a new role now, so she's not GM. And everyone starts clapping, saying thank you, Paige. And I just thought it was a very short segment, but I liked the opening because it was different. And I really just I kept, you know me, I'm like an Oscar maniac, and I just kept looking at her the entire time. And all she kept doing was like smiling and kind of like hopping sometimes. And I'm like, what are you doing? but but I was cool with it. Like she was just so happy and just brimming, and everyone was like relatively like happier getting to make SmackDown Live a better place for everyone, for like fans and like the superstars, and so I really enjoyed that. So I really did like the opening segment. It was it was kind of different, which I actually really enjoyed, like Shane's little pep talk. But then the show officially started, and Becky Lynch came out. So she comes out and she goes, everyone else is in the back having that little meeting, and she says she doesn't do meetings very well, and sorry. She said that she wanted to be out there with the WWE Universe, because in the ring, because that's where business really happens. And so she said that if Shane wants to make the place better, if the McMahons want to make SmackDown Live better, they will bring her the Raw Women's Champion, Ronda Rousey. And when she said that, Charlotte Flair came out, and Charlotte tells Becky that she needs to wait in line because she needs a shot first. Well, Becky says, my days of standing behind you are over. And then she calls Charlotte a cosplayer. And then while they're having their little argument, Asuka comes out. Now, initially we thought Asuka was going to have a coronation, but I guess they changed that or whatever, which I'm not totally bummed with. Like, I'm fine. Like, I was just happy to see her with the championship. She was so happy. She's spinning, dancing, going down the ring. She was very happy, and I'm so happy too. I was like weirding out my dad with how happy I was getting, because I was so happy. I just loved seeing her with the belt, just so happy about it with that title, and so like, yeah, that was very enjoyable. Like, she got in the ring. All she said was, she only said one sentence. All she said was, she's looking at them both and she's like, forget Ronda, I'm the champion now. And Becky's like, yeah, thanks to Ronda. And then Charlotte's like, you should be thanking Ronda, Asuka. And then they're both like gaining up on her suddenly, just like talking like back and forth. Like, Becky starts saying, you're a paper champion, and then Charlotte's like, I beat both of you and stuff. For me, when Becky said that, I'm like, no, she's really not. Like, it's not like Ronda set out to help Asuka. Like, literally, all Ronda did was, like, starting the new chapter or whatever in the story between her, Charlotte, and Becky. And, like, was Asuka just supposed to lay on the ladder and not do anything? Was she just supposed to stay there and just to wait for Charlotte and Becky to someday get back in the ring? Like, Asuka's alone in the ring. Like, was she supposed to not go up and get the title? Like, what? Like, of course she's gonna take advantage of an opportunity and go and grab the title. Like, it's not like Ronda was like, okay, now you go up and get the belt. Like, it wasn't like, she was just taking out Charlotte and Becky. That's it. And Asuka, like, she's been working her butt off, and she definitely deserves this title reign that she's finally been given. So, okay, I'm just gonna say that. Sorry, I'm kind of an Asuka maniac, so so obviously I'm gonna get sensitive about that, but sorry, but I'm very happy she won the title and stuff. So anyway, they had that little moment, and Charlotte, but no, not Charlotte, Asuka's just like freakishly smiling at both of them. Like, it's like she's just like ready to hit anyone if they try to go after her, because she's just like smiling freakishly, just looking back and forth at both of them. But then you hear Vince McMahon's music, and so everyone looks down the entrance ramp, but he hasn't come out yet, so we don't really know. Suddenly, Becky, Asuka, and Charlotte's eyes all widen, and even the crowd starts to erupt because Vince actually comes out. Like, he comes out and he says that the first thing he wants to say is happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and everything to all members of WWE Universe. Thank you, Vince. That was nice. But then he's like, Becky, this is so unbecoming of someone like yourself, and same with Charlotte. It's like, you don't need another shot at the title. Like, and he's like, that's like adding on to on Monday Night Raw when they're like, we're not doing rematches anymore. Like, if you want a shot, you gotta earn it. But he's like telling them, like, you've had the title. Charlotte, you've had the title numerous times. And he's just like, you two, if you have a problem, take it out on Ronda. Take it with Ronda. And that I completely agree with, because that's who they're actually mad at. Ronda. So it's like, take it up with Ronda. was just good, and then he's like, and I also want to congratulate the new SmackDown Women's Champion, Asuka, and Asuka had just been very happy this entire time, just wiggling, very happy. It's very cute. And so then he says, Asuka, you should defend your title tonight. And Asuka had this smile and this nod, like, okay, let's do it. Like, she was just all sudden, she's looking at Becky and Charlotte again, thinking it's going to be one of them. But Vince goes, is anyone ready for Asuka? Obviously signaling for someone in the back to come and accept the challenge. Naomi does, which gets a very happy smile from Asuka because she's about to fight her best friend. So Naomi comes out and says that I definitely deserve an opportunity. I guess she looks some way at Vince or something, because Vince says, give me that look again. And so she's like kind of confused, but then she like winks at him or something. He's like, okay, let's do it now. So they cut to break, they come back. Charlotte and Becky are sitting at ringside, and Asuka and Naomi are starting their match. So it starts off, they're trading, they're just doing the fight. At one point, they get up on the ropes, and Asuka gets distracted a little bit by taunting Becky and Charlotte in Japanese, so we don't know what she said. The only word she said I understood was champion, so I don't know, but she was like she was kind of distracted, so Naomi was able to like toss her off the rope for a 1 count, I think, or 2 count or something. They start going during one of the commercial breaks where we see in the split screen, they like kicked each other at the exact same time. And I was just like, okay. That reminded me of Asuka and Sonya when they just like flat out kicked each other at the same time. And then things start picking up and they were on the outside where Asuka went to toss Naomi into the timekeepers area. The same place where during TLC Charlotte had speared Asuka onto, not into because it didn't break, but just onto. But Naomi catches herself, then she gets up on it and she just like a sliding kick thing off of the wall onto Asuka, and they're both down. The ref starts counting, and at 9 they both are in the ring. It ends with Asuka gets the Asuka lock on 3 different times. The first time she gets it on, but it's not completely hooked in, so Naomi has a fairly easy time like trying to like getting to her feet. The second time it's in better, but Naomi is able to stand up again. The third time Asuka locks it in deeper in the middle of the ring, and Naomi just gives up and just automatically starts tapping. And I started cheering like a mad woman when Asuka retained her title for the first time. Now, while the match wasn't the greatest I've ever seen between those two, honestly, like, Asuka is willing to fight to keep this title, and she definitely deserves this title, and I think, like, we're gonna start seeing, like, another undefeated thing go with her holding this title, and I am very excited for that. I don't think she's gonna lose it anytime soon, and I'm so happy about that. Her time is finally here. She had her first title defense literally the day after, like 2 days after TLC, and she wins, and so, like, I'm very happy. Like, so, oh, at one point, though, I got scared when Naomi got a very nice, like, a very hard rear view on Asuka, and it looked like she was out, but literally at 2.5, she just managed to get her shoulder up, so I'm like, okay. Like, but, okay, that's all I really have to say about that. And then, of course, I have to go to this to figure out, no, I don't. Because I remember, like, the next thing is, oh, at the end of the match, Asuka was, like, just talking in Japanese to Becky and Charlotte, while Becky was just talking about, like, I'm gonna get the title back or whatever. Like, she's just talking back and forth to her. And then, right as the camera cuts away, Naomi's just going over to Asuka to just, because, they're best friends who just fought in the match, so she's just going over to, like, raise her hand, and so they can just hug and be like, because Asuka looked over at her, and they just smiled at each other, so you can tell they're just about to, like, raise each other's hands, hug, and all that stuff, which is sweet. But the camera cut right to that, cut right away from that to backstage, because Miz was outside a door, and the plaque said McMahon family, so they all have their own little office place in there. So he's, like, rapidly knocking on the door, and even I'm like, dude, stop. Vince opens the door, and he's like, stop doing that. Don't knock like that. Miz thought it was a very masculine knock, and I'm like, what? Vince finally is like, what do you want? And Miz is like, I came for Shane, like, is he in? And Vince goes, he can't come out to play right now. And then Miz is talking about, like, he really wants to team up with Shane. And he's like, I really think me and your son could be great partners. And then he goes, I just came to ask you for your blessing. Me and my dad started laughing when we heard that. We're just like, what? And for me, I'm even like, did I just hear this right? A blessing? What? I just keep being like, Miz, you and Shane are not partners, and you're not going to be. At least not right now, anyway. Probably not until, like, next year or something. Like, 2019, since this year's almost over, but it's like, I mean, unless something happens next week, I highly doubt it. And so, I'm just like, what? Why? Just, why? Vince is like, I have never given anyone my blessing before in my life. Which, yeah, I highly doubt that's even, yeah, that, no. But, um, but then he's like, I will let you prove yourself by me finding two partners, and you find your own, and you have a tag match tonight. And Miz goes, I won't let you down. And, like, and he's talking about, like, I won't let you down, like, I'll show you, and that I can be a great partner to your son, and all that stuff. But Vince, like, slams, and goes back into the office and just shuts the door. And, like, Miz is like, whoa, okay. And then it just ends. And then I think the next thing is Rusev, with Lana by his side, has an interview about how last week in the tag match he pinned Shinsuke with that kick. And the interviewer asks him if that means, like, he definitely deserves a shot at the United States Championship. And Rusev's like, of course I deserve a shot. Like, he's like, I'm more handsome than Shinsuke. It's like, Shinsuke looks like that Sonic Hedgehog thing. And then he shows a picture of how Shinsuke's been looking since Survivor Series with, like, that blue outfit thing. And he's like, and he's just like, if anything, Shinsuke should fear me. And the whole time, Lana's just like, just smiling and nodding, like, completely agree with Rusev. So after Rusev says that he deserves a shot and his reasons why, he leaves. And then the next thing, I am gonna go to this now because I just wanna. Okay, I'm not sure if this is exactly like the right order, but I'm just gonna go from here. Jeff came out and he was very happy, very, like, just smiling, like having a great time, singing along to his theme, like having very fun time with the crowd. He gets in the ring and he says that he heard that Samoa Joe wanted to apologize to him. And he talks about how, like, the stuff that Samoa Joe has said, some of it is true, but he's not going to let his demons get the best of him. Those days are in the past, and every day he looks in the mirror and he's very happy that he's here, that he's healthy, and that he's not going to let anything, like, take that away from him ever again. And everyone's just applauding. It's a great moment. And then he says about Samoa Joe apologizing, he wants Samoa Joe to come out so they can do this apology face to face, because he wants Samoa Joe to look at him across the ring from each other when, like, face to face, like, in the ring when they do this. Samoa Joe comes out, and as he's walking down the ramp, he's like, Jeff, I'm sorry, because this is an apology. And as he's starting to get into the ring, he goes, this is an intervention. And I'm just like, you have got to be kidding me. So as he starts talking, Jeff just has this weird look of, like, what are we even doing right now? But Samoa Joe says that because it's the holiday season, like, Jeff's demons could come back to haunt him, and that, like, he could be having eggnog and put too much rum in it. And Jeff's like, I know what you're trying to do. I know you take out you, like, feed off of people's weaknesses. And then he says, but that is only because you're trying to hide your own insecurities. And then he's like, what's haunting you? Is it the fact that you've been here for nearly 2 years and you only won one title? Like, obviously, that struck a nerve with Joe, because Joe goes to say something, then he stops, he turns, he's just nodding. He goes to throw a punch at Jeff, but Jeff blocks it, kicks him, does a twist of fate stunner. I mean, it's not like full-on twist of fate because it was like a stunner thing, but that's why I just say stunner instead. And then he gets out of the ring. Samoa Joe is still down on his stomach, but Jeff got the last word. He's going up the ramp, and then as he's going up, he's walking backwards, and him and Samoa Joe are staring at each other. First of all, let me backtrack for a second and say that I just thought the Miz and Vince segment was just weird. Like, that was just weird. But this, Samoa Joe wanting to have an intervention, like, I honestly, it's gotta be an insecurity thing, because I got no clue what problem Samoa Joe has with Jeff. Like, ever since that little Jeff Hardy appreciation night, Samoa Joe has just been on Jeff's case over and over and over, and it's so annoying, and I don't get it at all. But Jeff getting the last word here and talking about how, like, you're insecure, like, what's haunting you, and like stuff, like, I really enjoyed that. Like, that was fun. Here, let me go back to this again. Okay. Alright, so next, Shinsuke has his own little backstage promo where he's like, I should fear Rusev. I should fear this? And then he shows clips of Rusev being funny and silly on Total Divas, and he's like, he doesn't deserve the United States Championship. If anything, he should fear me. It's like, because after all, he's just a total diva. And it was short, sweet. Sometimes I had a bit of a hard time understanding Shinsuke a little bit, but it was just, I just found that, like, funny. It's like, there really isn't much to that. It was funny. Next, The Miz comes out because he's got that tag match. So, me and my dad both thought it was gonna be just like, you know, some guy, like Vince just picks some guy for Miz or whatever, and they do that, but no. Out came Mandy Rose, Corey Graves' favorite person. Mandy Rose comes out, and Corey Graves is like fanboying or whatever over her, and then she gets in the ring, and then Fabulous Truth come out. And when they get in the ring, Archer still has the microphone, and he's like, me and Carmella are so excited because we're going to go to the WWE studios, WWE headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut. And we're like, oh my god. Carmella's face, she's just like, oh man, I partner with him. you can tell she's just like, yeah, it's our truth. Okay. And then we figured out why Mandy Rose is Mrs. Partner when R-Truth says, we're also excited to be here tonight to fight The Miz and Maurice. Carmella is just looking at R-Truth like, what? And then, like, Mandy is just pointing at herself, I'm Mandy Rose. And even Miz is like, that's Mandy Rose. Like, everyone's just so confused. But then the match starts, and it starts with Carmella and Mandy, and then Mandy tags in Miz, and then they get in, like, R-Truth just like one little move, and Miz is out of the ring. R-Truth gets excited, he tells Carmella to come in, go 1, 2, 3, dance break, and then they do their 7-second dance break. And then Mandy tries to attack from behind, but Carmella kicks her, and, like, rolls out of the ring with her, but because R-Truth is a little distracted by that, Miz, like, comes up from behind, nails him with skull-crushing finale, and takes the win. I mean, this match wasn't anything special. Like, the dance break made me laugh. I don't know why. I like the dance break. It just makes me laugh. But, yeah, Mandy and Miz won. But the real highlight of this was, aside from the dance break, at the end, as Mandy and Miz are leaving, I guess Mandy looked at Corey, and as Tom was trying to talk about whatever was to come, Corey's like, she looked at me, she actually looked at me. Tom's like, then why don't you just go sit by her or something? like, I mean, he started fangirling or like fanboying over this, and I'm just like, you are psycho, dude. Like, okay, I just found that to be very funny. It was just weird. Okay. The next thing, I think this was the next thing, was the Usos came out and they talked about how since they said that since they technically they didn't lose at TLC because they weren't the one pinned. It's like New Day were the ones who actually got pinned, so it's like they didn't lose, so they still deserve a shot at the tag team titles. So they demand that the Bar come out. Only the Good Brothers come out. And I really liked this. Like this was new because we haven't seen the Good Brothers in a long time. And like even Luke Gallows is like, we haven't been seen since August. That's 4 months since we've been able to do anything on SmackDown Live. And then Carl's like, every week it's the Usos and New Day and the Bar, Usos, New Day, the Bar, over and over. Last week you guys had a rap battle. But then Jay is like, hey, don't get mad at us because you two haven't been able to do anything. I mean, on SmackDown Live, you gotta like step up or get stepped on. But then the Good Brothers like start coming to the ring, and Jay and Jimmy are just like, oh, so you're actually gonna come in here? So welcome to the Uso Penitentiary. And then they're like talking to each other. There's a ref like trying to break them up, but either Corey, David, or Tom. Oh, also David Otunga was there because Byron Saxton was still sick, but I guess next week or something he's supposed to be here. So we wish Byron Saxton the best. Obviously, like get well soon. But one of them said that the McMahon family had ordered that the match be official, so it's gonna be the Good Brothers versus the Usos. First of all, even though I was talking to my dad during this match, I was watching, and I will say it's so good to see the Good Brothers get to fight again. And the Good Brothers and the Usos have pretty good chemistry together, and it was a pretty good match. There's a lot of quick tags, a lot of high-flying spots. It was really cool, and at the end, like, Jimmy was going to get a splash on Carl, I think, and the Bar came out. And, like, it distracted Jimmy a little bit, but not too much, and he was still able to get the splash on. He goes for the cover, and then the match is thrown out because Sanity comes in. So the Usos end up winning by disqualification because Sanity comes in and just starts attacking everyone. After they laid waste to the Good Brothers and the Usos, they walk back up the ramp, and Eric's like talking to the Bar, being like, we want those titles, and like we're gonna get them and that stuff, and they're really menacing and creepy, and it was really good to see Sanity because we rarely see them. And due to the call-ups, I really think that when Nikki Cross comes, she's gonna be on SmackDown and she'll be back with Sanity again, which, I mean, the only reason why she's not with them is because she's still on NXT, so I'm pretty sure the second she comes to the main roster, she's gonna be with Sanity again, and that's really, that would be cool to see. Like, I do miss that. So, anyway, Sanity's going up the ramp. The Bar just runs back down and takes out the rest of whoever is standing after the ambush. I mean, whoever is left of the Usos and the Good Brothers, the Bar just goes and just attacks whoever's left. And that, like, the only thing I can say was I enjoyed seeing Sanity and the Good Brothers again. Like, that was really cool to see. Okay, the main event. Now, we found out before this, Mustafa Ali is a permanent member of SmackDown Live now, and that is awesome. The fact that he's finally promoted to main roster he totally deserves this, and he was the heart of 205 Live, and so now we might end up becoming the heart of SmackDown Live. So, I really think it's very cool to be able to see him. Like, and now that we know he's going to be here every Tuesday, like, or hopefully every Tuesday, if they really want to make this better and they're going to do this stuff right, like, that's really cool. Like, I really do enjoy hearing that. Anyway, Daniel came out and he's doing his little spiel of like talking about how like the crowd is hurting the planet and all that stuff. The highlight of his little spiel here, he says Fresno has the highest population of pollution in all of California. The Fresno crowd, everyone starts cheering. Me and my dad just started laughing so hard. They're like, yeah, the highest amount of pollution, and everyone's like, yay! And we're like, what? Why? What? You're happy about polluting the planet? What? Like, I was confused about that. And Daniel was just like, shame, 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 shame. But that basically ended that, and I kept thinking that, like, he was gonna tell us he no longer had leather on his title. But it looks like he still has the same leather thing, so I don't really know what's going on with that. But yeah, his title, the title plates, like, it's obvious. It does not say, it literally doesn't, it doesn't say yes anymore. It just says Daniel Bryan. Okay. But anyway, Andrade Cien Almas came out with Selena Vega, and it's been a while since we've seen Andrade, so it was cool to see him again. So he gets in the ring with Daniel, and then Mustafa Ali comes out to a huge pop, and then he hears AJ's music start, and he gets very like excited. He's nodding, and then AJ comes out to a pop again, and then they have a very good tag team main event match. And there's so much stuff happening throughout this whole thing. Like, one spot is AJ Daniels on the outside. Andrade like tries to come in. AJ gets him out, and then he tells Mustafa to come on. Mustafa takes a running start, like, and then AJ helps him by like flipping him up over his head, and Mustafa lands on Daniel and Andrade. And the ending is Daniel lands on like the back of his head, and then Mustafa is able to get his, I think it's 054, I think it's called, like that splash thing, and I guess he hit Daniel in the face with his knee. So it was like a little bit of botch there, because I guess he was apologizing to him during the cover. But yeah, Mustafa Ali used that move and pinned Daniel Bryan, getting the win for himself and AJ Styles. So his first match as being part of the main roster, and he takes the win. Like, that was a great big moment for him. And so I was very, very happy about that. And my dad's like, Mustafa Ali is on SmackDown Live now? That's awesome. I'm like, yeah, it is. Like, that was really good. And this entire night was actually really, really good. It was definitely better as it goes with trying to make change and trying to make things better. Like, it definitely like represented itself a lot better with SmackDown Live than Raw. But there's still a long way to go. But really, as even my dad told me, and I totally agree with this, things aren't going to change overnight. Like, we need drastic changes, but they're not going to happen overnight. And no one wants to be patient because we've waited so long. And that's totally understandable, but honestly, you have to wait. And for me, being the optimistic that I am, I can. So it's just waiting a little bit longer and just hoping. And like, if SmackDown Live is better next week than it was this week, or even anywhere close to like it was this week, SmackDown Live at least is going to do pretty good. Raw, they're going to have so much to make up for, but I hope they can do it. I mean, keep Asuka's title reign going on for a while. Take either Becky or Charlotte and get them to Raw so that they can deal with Ronda. And keep Mustafa Ali going strong. Keep Daniel's character going strong. Keep the like Samoa Joe and Jeff Hardy feud like interesting, and don't let the Good Brothers and Andrade like just fall to the wayside again. Give the Usos something to work with. Let them work with Sanity, because Sanity like literally attacked them out of nowhere. Like, there's so much stuff you can do, and I just hope they do it. But that's it for this. I'm gonna go and get this video uploaded, but I'm not gonna be gone for long because you'll literally see me in a couple hours at 7 for 205 Live, and then again at 8 for WWE NXT. So I will actually see you in a couple hours. So, hi.